Drew, it is so very good to see you. Hello, and hello to everybody watching. We are continuing our series, our video series for federal employees, but today is special. Today, we are bringing it all together, how federal employees can turn their benefits into a retirement plan. Because, Drew, over the past few videos, we've talked about the many benefits that federal employees enjoy, from the FERS pension and TSP to FEHB. I learned a lot of acronyms in this process, but having these benefits is only part of the story. The real key is knowing how they fit together as part of your retirement plan. So, Drew, you've said before that federal employees have some of the best retirement benefits available, but again, benefits not the same as having a plan. What's the difference between the two?
So with all these benefits, especially being a federal employee, you have more benefits than most normal people going into retirement. Now, retirement can be confusing enough the way it is, add some extra benefits, and you've got kind of a jumbled mess a little bit, kind of like what we're showing here. So you've got your FEHB, your TSP, you might be getting a special retirement supplement. Those are all great, but the question is, how are they all going to work in retirement? And how can I get these puzzle pieces to fit together to make a nice, neat picture of how you want retirement to work and have it all fit together?
Exactly. And that puzzle isn't going to be the same as your puzzle, going to be different size pieces and everything else. But let's just circle back to the FERS pension, because a lot of people think their FERS pension, TSP, and Social Security will all just work together, but that is not often the case. What are the risks of not coordinating each puzzle piece?
So yeah, the thing to think about with all these puzzle pieces is think of them as accounts. These are retirement accounts, retirement puzzle pieces. This is not a retirement plan. And the thing you got to think about is just looking at Social Security, it's probably only going to cover about 40% of your income that you're going to need in retirement. Now, your pension is going to cover some more of that, but it's probably not going to cover the 60% that's left. So the big question is then now, how do I use my TSP, any other outside accounts, to fill in that gap? But then the big overlying thing in the end that some people miss when it comes to retirement is how are taxes going to have implications on all of this? So it's kind of a very strategic process of trying to get them to fit together properly, because if not, things can get out of whack really early in retirement.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I do want to talk through accounts outside of TSP, IRAs, Roths, brokerage accounts. How do all of these fit into the overall plan? And again, how do those taxes, because each account is taxed differently, how does that play into the plan?
So here in this visual, you can see there's kind of 3 different categories of tax that you have to be worried about, especially going into retirement, because you're going to be more on a fixed income than like your normal salary and job. And you're relying on these assets to give you some income in retirement. So one of the big things is, how can I get these organized properly to where it's a more simple process for when I need to withdraw money from these? And the second thing is, depending on what's in these, and so take, for instance, the TSP, that is a very simple account as far as the funds that you're in. Usually these other outside accounts are going to be very complicated in the different funds that they're in. And those different funds might have different tax implications. These individual accounts, these brokerage accounts, they function different tax-wise than your IRAs do when you're taking money out or when you're selling off things in them. So that's another thing too, that you could get your pension and your Social Security set up right, but then on your withdrawals, you could have some implications that you didn't see coming that could affect the long term of your retirement.
Right. So now we have to talk about one of the biggest expenses in retirement, regardless of where you worked, healthcare, right? Health coverage is another big piece of this puzzle. So how do you help federal employees prepare for medical costs in retirement, both through FEHB and beyond?
Yeah. So your FEHB is going to be a big piece of this puzzle. You have some options with it, though. You can either keep it as is going into retirement, and you have that open enrollment to change your plans. Now, you also have the option of, once you turn 65, that you could use FEHB in combination with Medicare. And that might help you with some costs, but still have a really good health plan involved. And that's where you need to look at everything to see which one's going to be best for you.
Right.
But we've talked about taxes a lot. They say taxes is the biggest bill you have yet to pay. And the second biggest bill most people have yet to pay, they're saying 70% of people are going to need long-term care now.
That's
so how
right.
does that fit into the plan as well? And understanding that you might have a plan to do nothing, but you need to at least plan on doing nothing and having an idea of what you're going to do in that situation, or what are some pieces that I can put in place now that will set me up better for that too. So that doesn't derail my retirement.
Right. Really good point. And maybe we can do a separate video on it. But Drew, I'm sure you're aware as well that a lot of states are now mandating people buy long-term care insurance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is a huge upcoming cost. All right. I have one last question, Drew. For someone nearing retirement, what's the first step they should take to pull all these pieces together into one plan?
So in the investment world, especially even in the retirement world, not just talking about investments only, time is your best friend on having a plan in action. You don't want to be emotional or making quick decisions on things. You want to get a plan now. So you want to get these puzzle pieces together and make them fit now. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, with your pension and your Social Security, your plan could be to just maximize it, which is wait. It's just an equation. All you would be doing is just waiting. But that might not be what's best for your plan, or that might not even be how you get the most money out of that. So finding some action steps now, taking a plan, looking at these things, trying to put them together to give the retirement picture that you want going into retirement. So kind of like it says there on the screen, you can plan now, and then when retirement comes, you can relax and retire and not have to worry at the same time.
Right. And again, just our friendly reminder to everyone watching that we have created a tiny little video library so you can digest all of these separate puzzle pieces together on your own time. But Drew, walk me through again how somebody would navigate your website to find all that.
Yeah, so you can go to our website, which is millardfg.com, and then you can go to the Fed Employees Benefits tab. On there, there's a chance where you can set up an appointment if you'd like to just talk about some of this stuff with us there. There's also some resources there that you can go through and look at some things on your own time. And then there's going to be a link also to those videos that Erin talked about, because this video is kind of the culmination of all the other things we talked about. So if you want to hear specifically about something, you can go to there too.
Yeah, holy moly, a lot for people to kind of consume. So it's really helpful, Drew, to have you kind of hold my hand as we walk through all of these separate topics. So again, if somebody wants to reach you, we have the website there, millardfg.com. And what's the phone number?
So you can reach us on the phone also at 260-488-8300. And we'd love to chat with you about this stuff.
Wonderful. Again, Drew, thank you so much for your time with all these videos. I really appreciate it. And I've learned a lot.
Good. Thanks so much for having me, Erin.